For some of you who are like really into binge watching a variety of things, the Stranger Things is now out. Are you a fan of the show, Reese?
Yeah, I have only caught a bit of the second season, but I was really into the first one. It was kind of a surprise thing last year on Netflix. Nobody really expected it. And it came out, and it was just this cool, like, 80s vibe. And it really, like, everybody in it, from, like, the clothing to the cars, really felt genuine. And there's a lot of cool stuff that's seen either from the main characters or just even in the background from this new second season.
So what is your favorite car in this show?
There's a lot of cool stuff, and I will concede that there are arguably some better and faster stuff, but the K5 Blazer.
It's pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet.
If I'm gonna, like, that is, for me, like, the best looking Blazer. I had some family members that own them. You pop the, like, top off, like the old Broncos. Like, it's so awesome. It's got Chevy engines, so you've got, like, big lumpy V8. I don't know. It's just awesome. It's a lot of fun. They look cool. I'd love to find one, and it wouldn't even have to be in perfect condition. Just clean enough to not have any rust holes, but
yeah,
still want to take it off-road a little.
They are sweet. I've got to go in a different direction. We'll keep it in the General Motors family. I love there's a Gen 2 Camaro in there. It's like a 78, 79. I think there's a little bit of a discrepancy. Some people online were trying to figure out exactly what year it was. Late 70s, maybe early 80s, that sort of span. It's a cool car. One of the main protagonists drives it. It kind of fits that whole sort of like 1980s rebel without a cause kind of vibe, I think. And that actually is my favorite generation of Camaro, is the Gen 2 Camaros. I just love that like jet look. I mean, my favorite would not be the 78. My favorite would be the 70, but it's a good looking body style, I think.
Yeah, I like second gen Camaros, but I really only like the first gen, or the early ones. Like 70 Z28 would be really awesome. I mean, this one's cool, but it had just that lethargic V8, and that kind of like, that kind of kills it. If it was an early second gen Camaro, I think it might have swayed me over the K5 Blazer, but I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this one.
It's you're disagreeing with Billy Hargrove. He's the main character. I don't know. That seems like a dangerous proposition, but yeah, I mean, to your point, it's not the greatest Camaro ever. Let's put it that way. Lots of cool cars in this show. If you're into like sort of like early 80s Americana, it's probably for like a slightly younger generation what Mad Men was for like all of that 1960s vibe. Basically every car in that show, it was all eye candy. Everything was cool. Just looking at some of the background shots of cars, there's a 72 Cutlass in there, which is awesome. Love that car. There's a 74 Malibu, which my dad still has a 73 Chevelle, so a Malibu, in fact. So just really cool cars. If you're into like, that late 70s, early 80s, just like kind of random, almost between Gen X and Gen Y, that's right where this show hits. And of course, the cars match it. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's always good to see these like period shows when they like take the time to like make sure every little detail fits. And they did that with the clothes, they did that with the music, and they did that with the cars. It's
interesting too, because I think, the 80s into the early 90s, it was almost like one of the last time periods where you still saw really old cars on the road. Like now, you don't see cars necessarily from the 90s rolling around all that much, which if, you subtract 20 years, you would see like a 67 or something, Oldsmobile or whatnot. It wasn't as uncommon in the early 80s as, say, a 99 Oldsmobile or whatnot would be now. Oldsmobile may be a bad example because they killed the car brand, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah. I feel like people drove cars longer. There was that, they kept their cars longer, they worked on their cars. It was just a little bit of a different time, different, model in car ownership, even though cars are safer and more reliable, and it's probably a better idea to keep them longer now than it was 15, 20 years ago. But Stranger Things, it's a cool show. If you're a Netflix subscriber, check it out. It's not an endorsement, but half the staff seems to love it. I am not actually really into it yet. It's kind of creepy, right? So it sits into the Halloween theme. Yeah, if you're into 80s cars though, 70s and 80s cars, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, lots of stuff.